Hey guys, it's Scott. I'm back with another video as we inch closer to Kentucky Derby season, and we're in the Grade 3 Sam F. Davis this Saturday at Tampa. And this will be points for the Derby race. This ain't the major prep. This is the local prep for the Tampa Derby coming up in about a month. But nonetheless, there's points in the line, so we're going to talk about it. And first thing I like doing looking at a race is kind of seeing the history of the race and see who wins the race. Like, where do the horses like to come from? You see a lot of times in horse racing that history tends to repeat itself. And I always think that's a good place to start. And you look at horses in the past like Destin, McCracken, Flameaway, Soleil Volante, well defined. They all had classic call. They all had some 2 year old form to them. This wasn't. They weren't very lightly raced horses. They've raced 3, 4, 5 times. A lot of them already tried 2 turns, and they're kind of using this as a prep. I think the Tampa's kind of that second tier circuit, and I think trainers will send their horses over and kind of ship them in because they know they can get easy Derby points. And Tampa's right there by Gulfstream, and if the horse really has the goods, you can always just put him over the Florida Derby and this and that. So I think that's why you see Tampa kind of shape up the way it does. I will say the last two of the last three, like Candyman, Rocket, and Litigate, which are very lightly raced, kind of creep through and win that race. So I don't know if that's going to be a new trend of horses break their maiden, come to Tampa and start winning. But if you go back a little further, history says look at horses with some form to them, and history says horses coming out of Gulfstream or Aqueduct and Churchill play really good when it comes to Tampa. As like I said, those trainers probably ship their horses in. They don't really play good at local horses. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of discount, some of the field like El Principito. I'm not gonna have them on my tickets. Like I said, history says the local horses don't do great. You need to look for a horse going somewhere else. Tireless race at Tampa broke his maiden. Certainly, if one I was going to play the local horse, Tireless would be the one. He's Triple Crown nominated. It's by St. Elias Stable, Polish Stable. So, very good connection. So, you probably don't want to totally discount out that horse. But, like I said, history says horses that, raced at Tampa they don't do really good. But he does have some 2 year old form to him. So, like I said, if you want to play him, I'd put him, on the tickets is one I would take out of Tampa. Uh, I wouldn't really go with Patriot Spirit. He's raced at Tampa. He's got a mile 6 furlongs. He'd be stepping up. I don't see nothing that says he could should beat this field. I'm gonna do a further breakdown of some of these during the week, and before the week's over, I'll have kind of my final. This is kind of an initial, the fields came together. Kind of initial thought and preview. Horse that kind of intrigues me is No More Time, and he raced in the Mucho Macho Man. In that race, he made a really good move at the top of the stretch to go from last all the way to. He almost took the lead, but I don't think the Mucho Macho Man field was very much. So do with that what you will. I did like the move, and I liked his win before that, but I certainly think he'll be in your trifecta. And Paco comes over to ride, which is always a good sign. So for that, he's going to be in my trifecta. From win consideration, I probably need to see close to double digit odds before I start betting that horse. And then you got Agate Road, and this is a horse that raced on turf, and now he's coming over to dirt. Uh, Even his first race was an off the turf race, so but you've seen horses before like Flame Away and Soleil Volante, come over from turf, and that was kind of a thing there. It seemed like for a couple of years, so certainly wouldn't discount him off that. He's racing the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, the Grade 2 Pilgrims, so certainly racing a good class of horses. So not one you probably leave on your tickets if you're playing tries and supers. Definitely put them in there. Uh, a horse at the odds right that's really going to intrigue me is Copper Tax. And two things I like about him is one, this trainer has won the Florida Derby before, so I think he knows. Has a history of showing he can win a Derby prep race with a horse. And number two, if you go strictly by speed figure wise, this horse is the fastest horse in the field. Uh, his biggest win's only a mile. He's going to step up, so he's not totally out kinks in the armor, but say you could get probably 8, 9 to 1 on a horse like Copper Tax that has the highest speed figures in the field, and the trainer that's had at least success on the Derby trail before is albeit it was a long time ago, is something it intrigues me in this race. I don't think there's that one standout horse. You don't have a nicest run in this race. You don't have a fiercest whenever he's running his egg game in this race. So you can take a chance on a horse like Copper Tax, and you'll probably do okay. Uh, Yeah, ever do it. Don't really like him too much. Change of command. He's purchased for over $1 million, trained by Shug McGahee. Some of this with his past performance is kind of history repeating itself. He started out, not really winning. Then as the distance got higher, he came and started. It kind of reminds me of some of his previous Derby horses. So that being said, I'm not going to totally leave him off my tickets. And West Saratoga, Flamingo, don't really, not really too high on them. Another horse that's intriguing is Elsia Meadows by Bill Mott, and this horse is lightly raced, but that didn't stop Candyman Rocket for Bill Mott a couple years ago. So that being said, not one you probably want to leave off your tickets, or certainly want to consider if a fan of Bill Mott. But that's my initial thoughts on this race, and thanks for watching, guys. Plenty more to